Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
How about those Indiana Hoosiers? Hoosiers! I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall. He is off this week, still celebrating his future that he put on the Indiana Hoosiers. Earlier this college football season, he did relay his NFL picks. I will pass those along in just a moment. But for those who don't know, I'm Jason Hammer. I'm an afternoon radio host here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Normally, I'm joined by Rob Kendall, who is a midday host here in Indiana. Rob's also a former tax-cutting machine as an elected official, but he's got a diploma hanging up on his wall from Indiana University. And even though he's a total Notre Dame butt sniffer, he had a future riding on Curt Cignetti and Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers, and it worked. Now, my bet last week was the Hoosiers would cover. They did not cover, but they won the game. And Indiana, the Hoosier football program, national champions. And if you're somebody that's into rivalries, okay, I know some of you listen from out of state. There are some great rivalries in college sports. Michigan versus Ohio State, Duke versus North Carolina, Bama versus Auburn. Here in Indiana, it's Purdue versus Indiana. And like the Purdue fans, these trained people, they've got big-time little brother syndrome. Now, they've been very, very good in basketball the last 15 years. Championship game appearance. They've been damn good. But they don't have anything to show for it. No national championships. And that drives them crazy. Because even though IU basketball's been ass for a long time, there's 5 banners hanging up in Assembly Hall. 5. Purdue fans will always say, well, those banners are dusty. Yeah, well, there's something to collect dust in Assembly Hall. So the Purdue fans hang their hat on the basketball program that hasn't won anything. But let this sink in, okay? And I'm not some IU homer. I'm not. You guys know me. I'm a Tennessee Vol. So I'm coming at this from a neutral perspective here, okay? I got friends that are on both sides. Indiana won a national championship in football before Purdue won their first in basketball. Purdue always brags about the basketball program, and they might win the whole thing this year. But Indiana won a football national championship before Purdue won their first in basketball. I'm just saying. All right, let's turn our attention to conference championship games this weekend. You've got the Patriots at the Broncos, Jarrett Stidham and the Denver Broncos. You don't see this very often, but Denver in an AFC championship game, the home team is a 4.5-point dog. 4.5-point dog. New England favored by 4.5, and I'm seeing the total, depending on where you look. We always say shop around, find the best number. Around 42.5. Seems like everybody and their brother is going to be on the Patriots on this one. I'm going to take you in a different direction here. First half under. First half under 21.5. That is where I'm going to hang my hat here because, one, I don't think Jarrett Stidham is going to score many points. I think Denver's only chance to stay in this game is ball control. And it's not like the Patriots have came out like gangbusters. And it's going to be a tough atmosphere on the road. It is. Denver's going to be rocking and rolling. You've got the altitude going on. A little nerves maybe coming into play at first. I'm betting the under in the first half. Under 21.5. So you need something other than 3 touchdowns to beat you. Now, if Drake May comes out and he's shredding Denver's defense and he looks like a brand new man than we saw in some previous games, then we're probably going to lose. I like Drake May a great deal, but I don't love him in this spot. I do think New England will win, but that 4.5 is a big number on the road. I can see Denver's defense taking it upon themselves to feel like they have to stay in this thing. I don't know how much help you're going to get from Denver's offense. New England's defense can be pretty good at times. Can be. But I like the under 21.5 first half in this game. Now, that's probably the JV game of the two. The Rams and Seahawks, this is the varsity game here. Rams and the Seahawks. This is the third meeting between these teams. They've each won in their home field. Seattle is a 2.5-point favorite here. Just 2.5. So what does that tell you? Seattle has just been cooking. They've been cooking people. The Rams struggled against Carolina in week 1, went into overtime in frigid Chicago, but they've won. But odds makers are telling you this divisional matchup, this third meeting, they expect it to be tight. And when you look at the statistics, everything is pretty much equal here. From points scored to points given up, these are about as identical of teams you're going to find. So let's look at the total. The total is 47. Now, when these teams played on a Thursday, that total was substantially lower. It was like 5 points lower. So I think you're getting an overreaction from odds makers on what Seattle did last week. I think you're getting an overreaction on this. This is going to be the third meeting. These guys know each other. I'm taking the under in this one. And I get it. Nobody likes to bet the under, but I'm under guy. I'm under 21.5 in the Patriots and Broncos game, and I'm full game under 47 in the varsity game here between the Rams and the Seahawks. I think for the Seahawks, the strategy has to be keep Matthew Stafford off the field. I think Seattle feels like they can run the ball. I don't think Seattle wants Sam Darnold to get into a duel with Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua. So look for Seattle to try to play a little bit more ground control. And what does that do? That burns the clock. So I'm on that full game under. Now, my esteemed colleague, Rob Kendall, who again, still cashing his money from his IU future. He's on Seattle in this game. He's going to lay the 2.5. And he's also on the Patriots, minus 4.5. So he's a chalk-eating weasel. That's what he is, a chalk-eating weasel. Let's see what our professionals think. It's championship weekend, conference championships. Kenny Britt of KB Sports. Make sure you look and find him on Facebook, KB Sports. All right, Kenny, where do we want to start here? We've got the AFC Championship game, which I view as the JV matchup, the varsity game, which is taking place in the NFC, or do you want to talk about anything else? We got a lot of stuff. We could go in a different direction here. What's going on?
Yeah, well, everybody knows I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and get berated, weekly for that reason. The likely coach that everybody kind of thought was going to be hired by Pittsburgh, Jesse Minter, just got hired by Baltimore. As we speak, this is breaking news. So the Ravens go with another defensive coach and hire him away from the Chargers. So the Chargers are going to have 2 new coordinators next year now.
Interesting. Okay, so normally when you blow out a coach, and you see this all the time, Kenny, when you blow out a coach, you go in the opposite direction for the new guy. If you've got a ball buster, you bring in a player's guy. If you've got a defensive guy, you bring in an offensive guy. It feels like This was not even a lateral move for the Ravens. You blow out John Harbaugh, and you bring in somebody that, I don't know, tries to do the same thing, but maybe with less success.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Being here in Indiana, I think, and we've talked about this before, back when Larry Bird only signed a 3-year contract to coach the Pacers, and then the final year, that third year, he took them to the NBA championship game finals. He said 3 years is it. He goes, that's all players will listen to a coach. And I've always remembered that. It's always been etched in my head. Harbaugh was there, 18, 19, 20 years. And I think the message just wore on everybody. But like you said, this seems lateral at best. It'll be the same type of football. He's a defensive-minded coach, and it's a little strange. And like I said, he was the favorite to go to Pittsburgh. So that kind of changes things up for me a little bit too. I still hope for John Gruden, but hoping one hand and shit in the other.
Right. All right, let's start with this AFC championship game here. Denver finds himself in a position where they're 4.5-point dogs at home.
Yeah.
Are you looking at this total, or are you looking at the spread? How do we play this?
That was 5.5 yesterday. That's went down, and I checked all the books. It's 4.5, which I don't know. I can't believe it's 4.5. I think it's a trap. I think New England. I don't think Denver's going to score too many points. I think New England's going to crush them. I think this is their year. It's terrible what happened to Bo Nix. That sucks. Not a Denver fan, but that just sucks for the kid, man. It gives him the number 1 seed, gets him to the AFC Championship game, and then that happens on the second to last play of the game. That's just bad for him. I feel bad for him, but I think New England minus 4.5 is an easy play in my opinion.
Okay, because man, I got to be honest, and I stayed away from the spread here because one, this feels like a backdoor type number here, and number two, I could see the Denver defense trying to say we have to take this upon ourselves to win this thing, and then maybe Denver runs ball control. Maybe they try to burn the clock up, keep Drake May off to the sideline. I also think Seattle might try to do that to Matthew Stafford, but for different reasons. But I could see Denver's defense actually keeping them in this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, Bo Nix, Denver's offense struggled with Bo Nix up until their last game. He actually had a really good offensive game. But they've struggled all year. Cortland Sutton's their number 1 receiver, but, they don't look to him very much. I see them really, really struggling moving the ball. And New England's defense is a good defense. Vrabel's going to have something up his sleeve defensively. I don't know if Denver's going to score 10 points. I honestly believe I don't think Denver's going to score. So, you're on the under. That's a great play as well. I think both. I hate trash. I hate losing on the under at the end of the game with all those trash points that could happen. And I know that happens to both of us all the time.
Right. Probably more than anybody, actually. All right, let's go to the NFC, which, man, this is a ball game here. Like, some people thought maybe Philadelphia. Some people thought, well, maybe the Bears can get hot. But the real reality is I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC. Seattle's at home. They're a 2.5-point favorite. But Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua are coming in. It's a division rival. It's the 3rd time they've played. The line's 2.5. The total's 47. They've split this year so far, each team winning on their home field. What do we do here?
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sold on Seattle. I think a really big key to this game is their backup running back, who's really not a backup. He's 1B, 1A and 1B. Zach Charbonnet is out. That's a big deal. Sam Darnold last week, he didn't really have to win that game. Their defense won that game. I don't think he really had to win that game for him. Last year in the wild card game, the Rams beat Sam Darnold in Minnesota 27-9, and Sam Darnold looked horrible last year. Got sacked several times. I like the Rams, but I'm going to go ahead and go a different route. I'm going to go the Rams team total over 22.5. I think they're going to put some points up. I know Seattle's defense, blah blah blah. It's Seattle. I think the Rams are going to put a bunch of points up. They've got Kyron Williams, Puka, Devontae. Adams wants to get to a Super Bowl. I like the Rams over 22.5. and I think they're going to win too. I think Darnold's going to choke. I think Darnold's going to choke Sunday.
Yeah, this was one of those games, Kenny, where I was looking at this, and these teams are so equal.
Yes.
And my own credo is, if all things are equal and the better quarterback's getting points, that's where you want to go. I was this close to pulling the trigger on the Rams, but I really do like that full game under, because I don't think Seattle wants to get into a track meet with Matthew Stafford. So I think they're going to change things up a little bit and try to ground and pound.
Yeah, but that really, again, back to their backup. I call him the backup, but he gets more carries a lot of times than Walker does. That's a big deal for Seattle. So, I like the Rams here. Darnold, I think he's going to choke in the playoffs, and we talk about that every week. That is your motto. Two teams are equal. I think both games this season were decided by less than a field goal.
Yeah.
Two teams being equal, go with the better quarterback.
I mean, these are so
I'm
equal.
going to take the Rams. Yeah, but I'm going to go with the team total on the Rams. But, yeah, they are equal. It's going to be a great game. The first one, like you said, is JV, just kind of the appetizer for the big one at nighttime.
My man, if somebody wants to get your VIP plays, if they want to see some of your free picks, your free ladder challenges, all that kind of stuff, how can they find you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook on KB Sports. We also got horse racing going on, Kentucky Derby prep races just about every week up until the Kentucky Derby. Find that on my Facebook page, KB Sports. And I hope everybody has a great weekend. Everybody be careful out there. It's going to get pretty bad in most of the country. So everybody be careful out there.
My man, we will talk in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. I appreciate you.
Super Bowl. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
We go from one professional handicapper to another, because that's what we do here. David Stefanoff, the man behind FollowNeverFade.com. He's a big, hairy American winning machine. David, are you still celebrating your Indiana Hoosiers?
I'm still celebrating my Indiana Hoosiers like you are, too. And thank God we didn't have to hear the Miami Hurricanes talk about winning. We had to hear all about Miami or everybody. Hey, it was a perfect scenario. Miami covered, Carson Beck lost, and Indiana Hoosiers won.
There you go. And you called that. You gave us the Hurricanes +8 on my radio program. Absolutely.
Yeah. I had to go against the grain there. It's kind of a sweet middle for us Indiana fans to be bet Miami. Miami covers, IU wins. Win-win for me.
All right, man, let's get down to brass tacks here. We got 2 conference championship games. We kind of got a JV game and then a varsity game. Let's start with the JV game. The Fighting Jarrett Stidhams and the Denver Broncos, home dogs against the New England Patriots. The Patriots, 4.5-point road favorites heading into Denver, which is a tough place to play, and the total in this game sitting right around 42.5.
This is going to be a tough game for Denver. You know, everybody knows the backup quarterback. New England's on fire. They're going to have probably the coach of the year, AFC player of the year, offensive player of the year. Everything says Patriots. Every box checks the Patriots. They got a backup quarterback. Not so fast, my friend. I like the points here. I just think a home dog, they can win outright. All it's going to take is maybe a couple turnovers to go the Broncos' way. They can be right in this game. I love the points here with the Broncos. I know Jarrett Stidham, they're going to try to run the ball. I see this a low scoring game. They know that what New England's going to do. They're going to try to run the ball. Drake May was throwing the ball down the field. Broncos defense steps up here. I love this game to be low scoring. I'm taking the points. If you feel a little freaky, like I say, sprinkle a little money line, but we're definitely taking the 4.5 for the Broncos, Heimer.
Okay, so money line Broncos, you can get, depending on where you're shopping around at, around plus 190. I kind of thought that'd be a little bit higher, but David, that tells me Vegas is probably thinking the same thing you are. Denver's a tough place to play. New England, in theory, should be a 6.5-point favorite, but it's down to 4.5, and that money line on the Broncos only plus 190 in some spots.
Yeah, that's usually with a correlation with that line should be money line at least 300. That tells you a lot right there. A lot of sharps are on those taking the points because it's going to be, I don't think the weather's going to be an effect like it is all over the country. It's going to be a normal situation there in Denver. But yeah, if you like Denver, or if you like Denver on the money line, a lot of these sportsbooks, FanDuel and DraftKings, they give great boosts for these games. So if you like money line, use your boost and even kick it up, double your boost, and sprinkle a money line if you're not. But yeah, we're on the Broncos here, Cameron.
All right, so let's go to the NFC. You've got Seattle at home against the Rams. Seattle, 2.5-point favorite. The total 47 in this game. This is the third time they've played. Division rivals. Each team has won on their home field. All the statistics, David, they're basically even. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a team that's playing another one for the third time have such even statistics here. What say you?
So, Hammer, I'm going to the Jason Hammer analogically of football. I'm taking the better quarterback with the point.
There we go.
Hey, you do it all the time. It's one little gambling thing I've been following. It usually works, especially when you get more than 3 points. We're only getting 2.5 here. I don't think the points is going to be necessary here. I don't think this game – I think if the Rams win this game, they're going to win it convincingly. It could come down to a field goal, yeah, but we're on the Rams. We're going to take the 2.5 points. I got the better quarterback, more experienced quarterback, MVP quarterback, more experienced coach. I know the Rams I know Seattle Seahawks have the best defense this week. Every week it changes. Right now they're pretty hot. But, hey, the Rams have went everywhere on the road, beat everybody on the road. They're the hot team right now. I'm going with the better quarterback. I'm taking the points. Give me the Rams plus the 2.5, and I'm definitely probably going to toss the points out and take the money line. No, for the show, Hammer, give me money line Rams plus the 120.
Money line Rams, baby. I like it. Scared money don't make money. Go big or go home. That's what I'm talking about.
Lying. You ain't lying.
Hey, man, you've been cooking on college basketball. If somebody wants to be a client of yours and get your college basketball plays or any of the free plays that you put out on all of your social media channels, where can they go?
Hey, Hammer, thank you again. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Just search, follow, Never Fade on all platforms. Hammer just hit the nail on the head. I'm absolutely on an epic run in college basketball league. No BS. Hammer can back it up. 5-0, 4-1. Last night we had a little clunker. We only went 4-3. We've been absolutely on fire in college basketball. Australian Open kicked off a couple nights ago. That's my most favorite degenerate sport to bet in the whole world's tennis. But, hey, thank you for following. Shout out to KB Sports. Shout out to Mayor of Brownsburg. I'm sorry about the Chicago Bears. We rooted for you, Rob Kendall. I wanted them to get there, Caleb, but you do have the best quarterback in football, I think, in Kendall and Williams, Caleb Williams. And thank you for Hammer all you do to lead our ship, the captain of the ship, and don't forget to follow Never Fade.
My man, that's awesome stuff, and we'll talk in 2 weeks when we're doing Super Bowl bets.
Thank you, Hammer. Have a great day, buddy.
All right, there you go. There you go. Those are the picks for Conference Championship Weekend in the NFL. Go back, listen to the pod, write them down, find what picks you like, fade who you want. That's fine too. But we will be back in 2 weeks. No show next week, but in 2 weeks, Super Bowl. We will have a winner. We'll have a prop bet that we love for you. All things Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. Until then, for Rob Kendall, for Kenny Britt of KB Sports, for David Stefanoff of Follow Never Fade, I'm Jason Hammer. Good luck, everybody. And as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.